Hi, my name is David. I'm in Tainan, and this is Taiwan in English. In today's exciting episode, we'll be taking a look at some words that sound similar and have similar meanings, but are not really the same. Hobby and habit. Let's start off with how these words are similar. Both a hobby and a habit are things that you like to do. If you don't like to do it, it's not really a hobby or a habit. It could be one of several different things, but that is not really important for right now. Hobbies and habits are things or activities that you like to do. So how are they different? A hobby is an activity that you make time for. A habit is what you regularly do. Let's pretend that someone likes to cook and that every day they cook dinner. Is that cooking a hobby or a habit? That sounds more like a habit than a hobby. Same person, but instead of cooking dinner, they take classes on Saturday morning, learning new recipes and techniques. This sounds like a hobby with a habit on the weekend. Is that clear? I hope so, because we have to figure out what a good habit is. And if there's a good habit, there must be a bad habit. Unfortunately, the difference between good and bad can't be summed up by saying something trite like, do good, don't do bad. I mean, it is true you should do good things and not do bad things. But what makes the good things good? What makes the bad things bad? Ideal self. In very broad terms, your ideal self is what you imagine the perfect you would be. This might be surprising, but you are not perfect. I'm sorry. Someone should have told you earlier. Perfection might be a goal, but it is one that can never be attained. Everyone should be working towards it, even though, or maybe because, it cannot be reached. Good habits take you closer to being your ideal self, and bad habits move you farther away from being your ideal self. Simple, right? No, not even close. To start with, it's a moving target. Context and circumstance often change what is important to someone at any given time. What is more ideal? Happiness or money? Of course, both would be ideal, but very rarely in life can you do something to get both. If you chose happiness, you might think that playing pickup basketball after school for a few hours, a few times a week is a good habit. If you chose money, you might try to get a job or help out in a family type business. I know you're probably too young to get a job. This is just an example. When I was young, it was not uncommon for teens to get summer jobs doing lawn work or picking fruit. The important thing here is that it's an opinion. And while some opinions are more commonly held, no opinion can really be wrong. The other thing about ideal selves is that other people have an ideal you. Your ideal self is always, I really, really hope, positive. Whatever that means to you. Other people might not want that positive thing for you. I don't really want to talk about people like that today, other than to say, be careful of people that want you to be someone that you don't want to be. I will talk a bit about people that want positive things for you, but they might not be the same positive thing that you want. Earlier, I talked about happiness versus money. Is one of them a better goal? Within limits, reason? No. And regardless of which you pick, someone, maybe a parent, will think the opposite. And this is true for just about everything. Take some extra classes, you should go out and have some fun. Go play basketball in the park? Are you crazy? How will you ever get a good job if all you do is go to the park and play like a little kid? Get up early to swim laps in the pool? Why do you waste your time going to the pool? You should go jogging. And on and on and on. Now, imagine all of the possibilities that a new parent imagines about a newborn. The limitless future and how they really, really want one of the good ones. Doctor, lawyer, astronaut, president. When the newborn gets older, they might share that ideal self. But if they don't, the parent's ideal might not have or ever change. And someone that wants to be a painter might have conflicts with a parent that wants them to be a computer engineer. Some good habits are more or less universal. Eating healthy food is a good habit. Okay. What is healthy food? And back into opinions. Not junk food, not fast food, not what? There's no way to even begin to talk about healthy food without somebody taking offense in some way. So, what I will say about this is figure out the characteristics that you want in your food and eat those things. There are 6 basic characteristics, 3 groups of 2 that are easy to identify. Plant-based versus animal-based, low calorie versus high calorie, high nutrient density versus low nutrient density. Regardless of who you talk to, anything that does not fit into the characteristics that they want is junk food or somehow unhealthy. And anything that does fit into their categories is good for you. That's just the way it goes. Another universally good habit is getting enough exercise or drinking enough water. This gets into the enough versus more versus too much kind of issue. There is a translation complication between Chinese and English when it comes to advice. In English, drink more water means that the person giving the advice thinks that you are dehydrated, that you don't have enough water in your body. If there is some reason for this thought, it might be a mistake, but it is reasonable. But it is not reasonable if there is no cause for someone to think this. It is specific advice, not general advice. Drink enough water is general advice. I have no idea how much enough is. I just know that when you have enough, that is enough. Giving specific advice like drink more water as general advice can and sadly does lead people to think that there is never too much. But that is a mistake, at least in English. Too much is always too much. And yes, you can drink too much water. And many of the symptoms of drinking too much water are the same as not drinking enough water. Things like a throbbing headache, nausea, or discolored or blotchy skin. In this context of advice about habits, avoid more. Use enough or too much. Good habit, get enough sleep. Bad habit, not getting enough sleep or getting too much sleep. So that's the good versus bad habits. Are there good versus bad hobbies? Not really. You might say that something is a good hobby, but that means that you think it is a good use of time, regardless of if it helps someone become their ideal self. The opposite of a good hobby would be a waste of time. You will likely never have enough time for your hobbies, but I guarantee you that someone will say you already spend too much time on it. And that is the end of today. I will see you in the next exciting episode. Goodbye.